In the 20th century, for instance, Ada Kale in the river Danube was submerged on purpose. Until then, the island's nickname had been Little Turkey in Europe. In the third part of our series, Small Worlds, we take a trip down history lane.
The Danube, one of Europe's longest rivers, flows from southern Germany through Central Europe and then the Balkans. It has witnessed a lot of history. Here at the border between Romania and Serbia, a number of different cultures meet, if they are not swallowed up by water. Like Ada Kale, the island of the Turks in the middle of the Danube. When a dam was built downstream more than 40 years ago, Engür Ahmet lost his home.
When I look at this photo and see where the town and the island used to be, it makes me very sad that it has vanished.
The island is now under 40 meters of water. Gone are centuries of checkered history. Memories are all that remain.
This here was the waiting room at the docks of Ada Kale. The people who lived here came from different cultures, some from Bosnia, some from Bulgaria. On this island we had people from all parts of the former Ottoman Empire. There were Kyrgyz, Alavites, Sunni, some even came from Albania. That's what our island was like.
Sometimes the island belonged to Austria-Hungary, sometimes to the Ottoman Empire. When the Ottomans left the Balkans, Ada Kale remained as a Turkish enclave. In the 20th century, Ada Kale became an exotic destination for outings. Visitors came from all over Romania to buy Turkish sweets, tobacco, coffee, and schnapps. It was 500 meters wide and 1.7 kilometers long, a romantically peaceful sight.
I fell in love here. In the photo, you can see me playing guitar for my wife.
That love has survived, along with the Turkish culture.
You just have to say whether you like it sweeter or more bitter.
He's referring to the Turkish coffee. What also remains is the Turkish language. We accompany Engür on a visit to a friend from his youth, Dorgut Husref. Only about 10 former residents of the island still live on the shore nearby.
I cling to these memories. We're the last ones who remember Ada Kale. The island remains deep in our souls all this time.
Ever since the shock that came 45 years ago.
Take a look at this cruelty. I've seen it often enough.
In 1967, the Romanian army destroyed the houses of the 500 island residents. Some resettled on the shore of the Danube, but most moved to Turkey. Explosives and tanks against centuries-old traditions. And all in the name of progress. A dam was built for hydroelectric power, and a huge reservoir covered Ada Kale. Romania was hungry for electricity, and a dam fit the communist state's ideology of progress. In the 1960s, Romania and Yugoslavia, its neighbor on the other side of the Danube, planned what was then the world's largest river hydroelectric plant.
I'm not against technology and such a power plant in principle, but we were never compensated, even though we were promised.
And those promises were never kept. The people of the island should have been resettled on the Danube island of Simeon below the dam. Should have been, but they weren't. Today, as an exception because of our TV cameras, the border police take Engür along to Simeon. Engür says it does resemble Ada Kale a little.
My mama used to make rose hips jam. We had a lot of rose hips on our island too.
The dream was that Simeon would become just like Ada Kale. Even the old fortress of Ada Kale was carefully dismantled, stone by stone, and in part rebuilt on Simeon. That is, until the authorities changed their minds. Not far away, we find the cemetery. The graves on Ada Kale were dug up and moved. This is the cemetery, at least what remains of it. Engür finds a jumble of bones piled in a hole. It's a macabre sight.
They didn't even go to the trouble to identify which bones belonged to which tombstone. These are our ancestors, our heroes.
Piles of bones, treated without respect. Engür's mother lies here too. She had a thoroughly official burial. She was the first and last citizen of Ada Kale, now buried on the new island.
In September, it will be 45 years since I buried her here. May God grant her peace.
A peace Engür has yet to find. Just restless memories of Ada Kale, its people, their history, and an island in the Danube.